and welcome back to Issues That Matter. I'm your host, Rashida Omolade Sule, and as usual, I'm so excited to be here today.
Hey everyone, it's me again. It's Consuela Coleman, and of course, I am your co-host. So we'll be dishing all the dark.
Okay. Oh my God, Queen. The things that are happening these days has really, really baffled me.
What do you mean, like?
And what I'm talking about is marriage. You know, the other time we were talking about marriage is such a beautiful thing and how awesome it is and how, we would never change anything.
Right.
But I'm so disturbed with the way that it seems to me that marriage has truly lost its value. So is it just me or do you think marriage has lost its value?
I think nowadays marriage is just not how we used to be. Like with our parents, it seems like it almost is like so. I think people feel like it's the next thing to do.
After college.
Right. Like you go, okay, so I'm growing up, so the next thing to do is to marry.
Get married.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's just go ahead and
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
in some cases, that might be okay.
Yeah.
But let's say you're with a guy and he has dogged you out from point A to point B
Right.
and continues
And you still marry him?
and you still marry him.
no.
And I think that's, to me, that's what I think of when you say, like, do I think marriage has lost its value? I think in some aspect, some people are just so, they just want that next thing. They just want to, like, they want this TV
doesn't
ooh-la,
work. It doesn't
and then
work.
it's
It doesn't
like,
work.
yeah, I know. I mean, for me, I mean, that's the closest thing I could think of when I'm thinking,
Well,
Has
when I'm
marriage
thinking
lost-
about has marriage lost its value, I'm thinking, why is it that the first thing that, soon as God forbid anything happened, the first thing people think about is divorce?
right.
Now,
Or I'm done, I'm out.
I'm done, I'm
Separation.
out.
You sleep in one room, I sleep in the next room. And I think that's, when we think about values, it's truly lost its value in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because growing up, my parents, that was not the case.
That was not the case.
Yes, they might fight. Yes, they might have their issues.
Yeah.
But it was not like
The next thing
deuces.
is
yeah,
divorce.
like I'm done. I'm done with you.
Like, I so give my husband so much respect, basically because getting into marriage, he was literally like, look, there's no divorce
Right.
in this
Right.
dictionary.
It's not an option.
Like, that's not an option.
It's not an option.
So whatever it is that we go through it and we move on.
And I think that's a good point, is you making it not an option.
An option from the beginning.
But some people nowadays, they get into marriage saying, well, if it doesn't work out,
it
it's
does-
okay.
yeah.
We'll just get a divorce.
It's not okay.
It's no big deal no more.
No.
You know what scared me, and I was so shocked when, like, people were like, oh, the divorce rates in Nigeria is worse than the divorce rate here.
And you know what? It's true.
But to
It's
me,
true.
it didn't used to be. That was very
Yeah.
shocking to me.
Yeah. Because everything was so cultural. And
Yeah.
You go to school, you get married, you stayed married. You stayed married. When I was younger, and things that I would hear that a person did, and I would say, oh no. When I get married, if my man was to do anything like that, I'm so out. But
Right.
until you do get married and know the importance of marriage, it's not every little thing that you're out
Right.
for.
You can't dip
But-
on every single little.
And what I wonder is, you worked so hard, you prayed hard, you're fasting, you're looking for this man, then you get the man.
Right.
And then any little thing happen, the next thing is separation
Right.
and divorce.
But I think it's also people are looking for perfection.
there's no perfect.
There's no perfect person.
There's no.
I mean, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
You're not perfect. We all have our things. And I think
Yeah.
people, when they look at, well, why can't you be like brother so-so-so?
Oh,
Brother,
do you even know brother so?
well, I mean, brother so-so-so's wife looks happy all the time. And why can't you be like him?
But do you know what's going on in that household?
Amen.
Because this is the reason why I really wanted us to talk about has marriage lost its value? Is basically because I see that a lot of young marriages are so distracted.
Right.
I feel like distraction is, and we're going to talk about this topic a little bit more in depth
Right.
the next show that we have. But when I talk about distraction, I'm talking about, let's talk about what's called covetousness. What you think about that?
Speak it.
Covetousness.
I think it kind of goes back to that same thing, is keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
You know, keeping up with the Kardashians. I guess that's more relevant now. You know, everybody sees.
Unless you win the lottery, leave that alone.
Leave it. And it goes in not. Yeah, when people say keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with, whoever is, they're usually talking about like, I want this kind of car, I want this kind of house, but also people, I want this kind of marriage. This marriage that you see on TV, or this marriage that you see with your pastor and his wife, or the marriage that you see between this gorgeous couple.
Or don't say it.
But the thing about it is, when my door is closed, when I go home and I close my door, and it's me, my husband, and our kids inside our house, you have no idea
what's going on.
Going on in our house.
You have no idea.
No idea. We might hate each other. You have no idea.
We probably sleeping in the same room.
You have no idea.
No.
And I think that's the thing.
That's sad.
I could come out and we're like, oh,
we love each
precious,
other.
and we
my
look so
love.
good. Yeah. But,
honey.
right. But do you know what happens on the inside?
Baby.
Sugar paws. But you don't know what's going on the inside.
If they get home, it's like, find your room.
Right.
I'll find mine.
And how you dare talk to me like that? And then, and I think one of the greatest examples is now we see a lot of reality TV shows. You see this couple, and they just seem like it just all is all together.
Yeah.
And then you find out 2, 3, 4 months later, they're getting a divorce. And you're so shocked. Like, they were so good together.
The perfect marriage. No.
No, because when the doors close, you don't know what's going on. No.
You don't know what's going on.
So
distraction, covetousness, wanting what another marriage, which you think, looks good in the eyes of the beholder.
Right.
And it's not really what's going
No.
on. Another thing that I'm thinking has allowed marriage to be so devalued is sex and lack thereof.
Yeah.
Sex and lack thereof. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're married, this is the time where sex is so...
It should be fun.
It should be fun. It should be fun. It shouldn't be so mechanical.
It shouldn't be taboo, like, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
Because who you going to talk about it with?
I really want to talk to my church sisters.
Please,
ladies, ladies. I'm so begging you to please, in the infinite mercy of God.
Please.
Okay? Before you married this man, I don't know what you were doing. You were supposed to be keeping it holy. But let's just say you weren't keeping it holy. You were doing everything that was under the sun. Now all of a sudden you're married to this man, and it's like, oh, please, we don't do those things. What?
No, boo.
What?
Give it up.
No. You better be doing that and then some.
For real.
There was somebody who was telling me that God enjoys it because it's legal. Legalized. You got paperwork. Okay, you got paperwork.
That's what it was designed. That's what he designed it
and he
for.
enjoys you guys to do that.
And enjoy with each other,
Enjoy with each other.
It shouldn't be, you know what, all right, I got a headache and I really don't have time for that. We have to get into it too. And you know what, I'm not only going to pick on women.
Yeah.
Because there's some men out there who you ain't giving it up, or if you are, you just want to be so, let's go to it.
Oh no, that's sad.
Let's get right to the point.
That's horrible. Guys, let me tell you something. And I totally understand. I think men don't understand their bodies. There's a point in time at a particular age that you get to where that sex drive is not like it used to be.
Right.
Try to discuss this matter with a doctor.
Right.
Every man go through it.
Yeah.
Every man go through it. And if you discuss, don't be embarrassed. Because instead of them to think that this is something that's going on with me, maybe because of stress,
right,
maybe because of anything,
right,
get medication. There's medication that will help you. But don't make it seem as if I'm not attracted to my wife.
Right, and I need a younger girl.
And I need a younger
or, you
girl.
know, is this other person that's going to do it for me?
Let me go and try something else. I see what that the thing we wake up on this person.
Viagra.
No, it has nothing to do with the woman.
It really
go
doesn't.
to the doctor. And if you give us a call on the next show, I'll give you a telephone number for a real good doctor. Oh, wow. For a real good doctor, because he does that. He is so
Yeah.
good with that. He is down to earth where he will talk to
That's
you.
awesome.
You know, and let
And
you know what's
men
going
need
on.
that.
They
Men need
do.
that, you know, and we women too. Women
Yeah.
need, because some women don't have a higher sex drive as men.
And that's very true.
And for some men, you know, I think another show we need to have is, you know, things that you could do all day to kind of get her mentally ready.
Ooh,
You know, so it's not just like, oh, let me quickly run in bed and act like I'm sleeping so he doesn't disturb me. So, you know, just get her in the mood and get her going also.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's so many things that hinder
Yeah.
or that get in the way of a healthy marriage.
A healthy marriage.
You know, and
It's all about planning.
Yeah.
Because even me, ladies, we get tired.
Mhm.
You know, we work all day, come home, the children, the house, the
homework,
you know, homework, all of that.
everything.
We get tired, but you have to add that into your schedule.
Yeah.
You have to add sex into your schedule. Open up your calendar and put sex. If you know you're going to do it 4 times a week, then you know you're going to do it 4 times a week.
Right.
I mean, but put that as part of the things that you need to
Priority.
do. And it can happen in between. It doesn't have to be so mechanical.
Right.
But another thing that I would do is I could text my husband all day. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing?
Right.
Hi, honey. Just preparing him.
Exactly.
For the evening.
Right.
And mentally preparing myself that, okay, this is going to go down.
Right. And then when he gets home, you know, we're married. This is who we're spending the rest of our lives with. We should not be so, you know, don't put that scarf on your head yet. Don't put the hairnet on yet. You know, don't put it on yet. Just wait a minute. Let him see you looking good. You know, I had a friend, and I love this. Every time she was getting ready to leave, you know, go home, she would touch up her makeup again, spruce up her hair. And I used to be like, what are you doing? You're going home. She's like, my man has not seen me all day. He left the house before I left the house, so he didn't see all of this.
Oh, wow.
So guess what? When I get home, he's gonna see how good I've been looking. You know, sometimes we want to look good, but your man ain't even seen that, because by the time he get home, you put on those old sweatpants. Yeah, you got your hairnet on. You know, and I understand. Yes, we don't want our hair to get messy. Of course, that's important.
Right.
But just wait till, you know, wait a few hours. Let him be like, oh, babe, you look good.
Good. Keep the makeup on.
Yes.
After all of that said and done, then you go in the bathroom, clean yourself
right.
up,
And then put on your hairnet. He know you need that hairnet because he know your hair got to be laid the next morning. So.
Ooh, and another thing that I think causes a lot of distraction in marriage, which is devaluing marriage, is finances.
Of course. I think they say that's like number one.
I think it's number one after sex, really.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know what, when your finances is jacked up, kind of jacks. Yeah, it kind of trickles down, you know.
Yeah.
But what do you think about, you know, looking at finances where now a lot of women are running the show.
Money.
They're, you know, making more money than men. Yeah. And a lot of times I've seen in, you know, many situations where it opens the door for disrespect.
Which it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Which it shouldn't. But
it shouldn't.
Then again, I feel like a lot of men can't handle it.
Right.
It's two parts of the story.
And I think as a man, you need to know that.
Yeah.
Some men could deal with it. Some men do not mind the role switching, and then they're now like the house husband.
Yeah.
Some men don't mind that. But if you know you're a man, I don't know. My man is not. My man
would do that.
And you know, for as a woman too, you have to know what attracts you. To me, I'm not attracted to a person who's comfortable being a house husband. I just am not. That's just me. For me, I know.
You're not attracted to a man.
I really don't. I just want you to, and you don't have to be working a 9 to 5. You could be running your own business.
Yeah.
But you gotta have something going. And that's just for me. Yeah. And I know, but for some women, they don't mind. They don't, but I think for the ones that are combative with their men, I think they don't know really what they want either. I
think if a man was to be, I may not mind something like that, but please don't quote me on that, because it's sexy to see a man
It's sexy
that
to
get his
me.
hustle on.
Yeah.
It's sexy to me. But then I love a man who loves his children, who
Of
takes care of his
course,
children,
God
who's
no.
about his children, and
Yes.
that is another sexy part for me.
That is very sexy.
So if I'm working
That-
all day and I come home, and let's say God forbid, let's say my husband was a house
Husband.
hubby, taking care of the family and taking care of the home, I would still want him to take care of me,
Right.
and have time for me.
Right.
But if it's a type that I get home and he still want me to do everything in their mama,
Right.
which I'll do, but I'll just be too exhausted.
You will be.
So I don't know.
You will be. No, for me, it's a combination. Just because you're hustling and you're providing for the family does not mean you neglect your children or spend time with your children.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
For me, I do like, I work and I do my own thing, but I also want you to do your own thing.
Yeah.
To me, I don't, but if, God forbid I was in that type of situation, the how do you act though
Yeah.
is what I think leads to a lot of the problems
Yeah.
that we're seeing now is
Yeah.
where the women are like, like, what you doing?
I know that's right.
So
What you about?
right. So it's like the man, he asks you where you going. You like, what I gotta do with you?
Okay. Who
I'm
pays
going
bills?
right. I got so I think it's that.
Yeah.
You're just bruising his
Yeah,
ego. Especially when it's not like, let's say he had a great job and then he
Yeah.
got laid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's not, and he's trying to get himself back up
Yeah.
there, then are you more of a support
Yeah.
or are you more of a hindrance? Are you bringing him down at a point where he's already feeling low? I think that's what we kind of have to evaluate, and
Value on that.
yeah, and I think you're right. That's totally a different topic on its own.
On its own.
But I think when I think of how things that affect finances, that's one of the things I think
Yeah,
of.
you think of
Yeah,
finances.
it's that
So,
role change that is happening in our
in our
2015 era.
So has marriage lost its value, guys? I really want you to look into that. I think it has in our society basically because of technology. And I blame a lot on technology.
Right. Why
I
on
do blame a
technology?
lot.
What is
I blame a
technology?
lot on technology. Has marriage lost its value? Yes. Technology is definitely a big part of it. And then the haves and the haves not. Don't worry. When you get married, when I got married, we didn't, in a way, income was there, but it wasn't a whole lot of income.
Right.
I could not build my marriage on somebody else's marriage that I'm looking at.
Amen. I'm with you on
outside.
that.
I had to create my own bubble
Yeah.
and just build on
Yeah.
that,
I totally agree.
And our thing was, let's sit down, let's think about what we want for our family
Yeah.
and our foundation.
For your bubble. Right.
It wasn't, oh my God, honey, do you see that guy? They're driving a
Range
you see
Rover.
they're traveling, they're going to Europe.
Right.
It wasn't about that.
No.
Girl, you going to Europe? Good for you.
Yeah, have a good
Wow.
time.
Girl,
I
have a good
know
time.
I will be there soon. So it's
Yeah.
and I
So,
think that's how God blesses you more too.
yeah.
Instead of
When
being
you appreciate
envious,
somebody else's
right? So instead of you looking at their marriage and saying, "Oh, I want this," just be like, you know what, that is good, and I'm happy for them that they're doing that. And prayerfully, if that's something you want to do, prayerfully I'll be able to do that one day.
God,
However,
you did it for them. You can
yes,
do it for me. Talk to God.
and still being like, I'm still happy in my marriage,
Right.
and we're still building to get to that
You're
next
building,
step.
you're building.
But everything does not have to happen in one day.
It takes time.
It takes time.
So please, the reason why a lot of marriage out there is devalued is basically because of distraction, covetousness, looking at other people's things, not staying within your own, what did you call it?
Stay in your lane.
Okay,
Stay
stay
in
within
your lane. When you're on a highway, think about the highway of life. When you start drifting into other people's lane, the person, they blow their horn at you like, wake up. And I think if we could think about that with life too, is, okay, I need to stay on my lane. When it's time for you to switch lanes, you turn on your turn signal and you switch lanes. And then you stay on that lane. And I think that's how we progress in life. Like, when it's time for you to go to the next one, you do that. And you continue, and then when it's time and then you're growing instead of trying to.
If you don't turn on that signal light, God forbid you get hit, it stops
Yeah.
you from moving.
Amen.
It just stops you.
Yeah.
And when I say it stopped you, that could be separation. It could be a divorce, meaning that stay in your lane. You don't have to go as fast as everybody else is doing. They're doing an 80. What is the normal for you to do?
What's
If it's a
comfortable
60,
for you?
you stay on a 60.
And what's comfortable for your car?
For you,
Depending on what kind of car you in too. You know, once you start going over a certain mile, the car is shaking. And you have to think about that with life too. I think, you know, just little things, little pieces of example that we could pick up here and there. It's true. You know, you gotta stay in your own.
Stay in your lane, covetousness, mind your business, sex. Okay, you got married, so y'all can get sexed up. It could be morning, afternoon, night sex.
You are his. We said to death do us part. Right? That's what we said.
Yes.
So
There's
guess
only
what?
death that separates you. But then check Corinthians out. Corinthians says you don't own your body. He don't own his body. Y'all can do it. And to make everything all good, it's good for you. It really is.
It makes you live longer, doesn't it?
It makes you live longer.
I don't know if it's like.
It does make you live longer.
Yeah, I mean, you're happier.
It helps the heartbeat. And all
Yeah,
that stuff.
you're happier.
And then last but not least is the finances. Trust me. If you're getting married, you know, make sure that you got your stuff together.
Yeah.
Man, if you need to go back to school in order to get a better job, do that.
Yeah.
Lady, if you need to go back to school, do that.
Yeah.
But have a plan within yourself so that, you know, and have respect for one another. Don't just get married just because, okay, sex is good. First of all, y'all having it without, you're not supposed to be having it. and then you're having it, then you're thinking this is, because all you see is sex.
Right.
And that wears out.
Yeah.
Or she looks beautiful. She's gorgeous.
Right.
God forbid she have a car accident. That's gone.
Yeah.
So are you going to stay married to her if she has a face implant that's not, because she had a car accident? So stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let's not devalue marriage. If you're not mentally matured enough to be married, stay in your lane.
And
you don't need to be getting married.
And enjoy whatever you got going on right now.
Yeah.
It's not a forced situation.
No.
Like, it could be so. It's just enjoy where you at. You know, for real. Don't look at somebody else's situation and say,
I wish.
That's exactly what I want.
That's exactly. You don't even know what that person.
You don't know what you're asking for.
Okay.
You know, because you don't know what's going on
Just
in there.
be grateful for what's going to be going on with you.
Yeah.
This comes to the end of Issues That Matter. Our topic today was, has marriage lost its value? So let's bring back the awesome value in marriage, which is to love, to hold, to death do us part. Thank you so much for being a part of our show today.
Thanks for joining us.
We look forward to seeing you later. Bye.
Later.